Marvel Villainous has 2 to 4 villains racing to foil each other's plans and fulfill their own. Players take a player reference along with the villain's domain board and matching villain and fate deck, mover, and guide. Place the mover on the domain board's portrait, then draw 4 villain cards. Shuffle all fate cards together. Put the deck face down in the middle near the power and strength tokens. Players receive starting power tokens based on turn order, and then players read their win objective out loud so everyone is prepared. The box comes with 5 villains, each with a different win objective, domain board, and unique deck. Hela, Killmonger, Taskmaster, Thanos, and Ultron. Killmonger, Thanos, and Ultron also come with specialty tiles specific to them. On your turn, you first must move your mover to a different location in your domain. Activate each visible icon at your location once in any order, though you don't have to use them all. At the end of your actions, draw back up to 4 cards if necessary. Actions are explained on your reference card, so I won't go into each in detail. In general, you'll gain power tokens, spend them to play cards, relocate cards from one location to another, or to events, which I'll explain soon. Discard cards, activate special card actions, draw from the fate deck to mess with your opponents, and vanquish those bothersome heroes that show up to foil your villainous plans. Villain cards come in a few different types and have a power cost in the top left-hand corner. Red allies are your minions and used to vanquish heroes. Their strength is listed in the bottom left corner. Blue items are your weapons and defenses that help your schemes. Some act at the played location, and others attach to allies to boost their abilities. Green effects are helpful one-and-done abilities. Pink specialties have ongoing super abilities that villains can use on their turns. Some may need to be activated, and some are villain tiles instead of cards. When doing a fate action, draw from the common deck, then play the card against another villain or as an event. Fate cards also come in a few types. Orange heroes are the do-gooders trying to stop your evil plans. They're played so they cover the top actions of an opponent's domain and may have other effects too. Covered actions can't be activated until the hero is vanquished by a villain's allies. Fate item and effect cards work similar to the villain item and effect cards. Purple events are new for Marvel Villainous. The global events don't have a specific icon and are played to the center of the table. The penalties affect everyone until the event is defeated by the players' allies. Target events are played against the specific shown villain and must be defeated by them alone. In both cases, you gain a reward for defeating the events. The first player to achieve their objective immediately wins. Gain power, play cards to achieve your objectives, and slow down your opponents. That's Marvel Villainous. 3 or 4 people should play Marvel Villainous on a dining table. The player areas aren't that big, but combined with the central area, it all might be a bit too much for the coffee table. There's a bit of grade 2 or 3 reading, and players will need to understand how to maximize their turns and timing, plus how to manipulate the deck in order to get the cards they need. With all that said, experienced 8-year-old gamers will probably be fine. 2-player games of Villainous aren't great because you only have the one target. There's more interaction with 4 players than with 3 players, but the game takes longer because of it. Depending on luck, your first few games could last close to 2 hours. Once you know what you're doing, 3 and 4 can play in 90 minutes or less. I'll talk more about this in likes and dislikes. In our second game of Marvel Villainous, I was Hela and immediately started placing allies on Odin's vault. Mom was Taskmaster and got our allies out early. Dad's Killmonger was quietly setting things up, and our friend Dave's Ultron was powering his allies. Dad defeated Black Panther, so everyone put heroes on him to slow him down. I had so many cards in my domain that I confused myself into thinking I had won. It turns out that I mistook an item for an ally. Dad did a fate action on me and played Molecular Rearranger, removing some named copies of allies from my domain, ruining my game. He then did some stuff and won. Despite the length, it was still pretty fun. Marvel Villainous has theme, but the domains and villain decks aren't as interesting as in Disney Villainous. The shared fate deck makes this feel so bland and samey. This could be anything else. In Disney Villainous, the fate decks are unique. There are some unique cards here, but the movers are flimsier and don't capture the feel of the characters like in Disney. The event cards create a shared focus and remind me of games like Smash Up, which is also getting a Marvel game, and Sorcerer. Unfortunately, with the randomness from their effects, your own draw deck, plus opponents doing fate actions on you, there's too much chaos. Even worse is having a broken combo on you like poor Mom had in the first game where she wasn't able to gain power. Yep. Disney Villainous can take a while when you're learning the characters, but it's a 60-minute game or so once you're all comfortable, including setup, takedown, and luck. This is almost never going to be under 60 minutes unless something incredible happens. Worse than the actual length is the feel. This drags. Too much luck and chaos. The guides and reference are good at preparing you for gameplay and each character. It's handy not just for new gamers, but for people like us. On the other hand, the rulebook is a bit unclear on some points, and because it's so new, answers aren't easy to find. I know it sounds like I hate Marvel Villainous, and I don't. Well, it's just so disappointing. I haven't been let down like this since Marvel Champions, and even then, I still think that that's at least a good game. This takes everything that made Disney Villainous one of the best family games in years, makes it less thematic and way too slow and long, and loses nearly all of its charm. In the time it takes to play this, I could play 2 games of Legendary Marvel for a much better superhero experience. This game is going to be a bestseller, but I recommend you try before you buy.